You know what frustrates me? These companies now seem to think that there is a new culture, a bailout culture, where they can basically put out press releases, put out certain buzzwords, and really don't tell you anything. They don't give you any strong information. And that's what just happened with Gibson. Gibson filed for bankruptcy. They filed for Chapter 11. So what does this mean? Let's talk about it. Oh, hey all, welcome to Circle of Tone. So it happened, but it didn't happen. It's what needed to happen didn't happen. What happened for the guys who want money happened. What happened for the people who wanted more power happened. What happens? What's happening? All right, let's chat about it. We are in the dark. We've been given so many buzzwords, so many just lawyer speak. You know, it's and all they're saying is the CEO is going to remain as a consultant for a year. So luckily, the guy that put the business in the hole for $500 million, and they can't even pay, their creditors. They can't pay the the stuff they need for manufacturing or shipping. They can't pay it. But don't worry, I know you guys are worried sick. He's been given a good old financial package. Yeehaw! All right, so it's good. He won. He's going to go off into retirement age, still working for Gibson, and still, with a large chunk of the responsibility. So don't worry. I know you were worried sick about him, but he's fine. He's bankruptcy apparently means that you get a bunch of money and retain power and that type of thing. So let me tell you what I think about the cloudy wording of. Oh, you see these little buzzwords in the press releases where they say things like Gibson will concentrate on its core brands. It doesn't list the brands, specifically that are gonna. It doesn't. If you Google Onkyo, nothing comes up as in worries about restructuring and job losses and the rest of it. We know who hasn't lost his job, but what about the other? What about the companies? Let's have a look at this. I want to read these little buzzwords to you. So they're called forward-looking statements, right? So basically, when someone tells you that they've lost all your money, they have to come up with forward-looking statements, and the press releases are there. Let's see if I can find. Okay, there's things like positivity, right? Believes are in there. Anticipates, plans, expects, intends, estimates, projects, should, will, may, would, compensates, aims, pro forma, might. All of it was like maybe, if, well, who knows, blah, core, this. Doesn't say anything. Where is the leadership? I mean, what is going on at Gibson? The core. Does that mean the core of the Gibson workers? That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Gibson and the KRK workers and, the Philips workers. What about the people? All they're talking about is how Gibson won't go away. But the core, what's the core? Projects, perhaps. You never know. Who knows? God. What we do know is that all the base R belong to the creditors. Perhaps. Are they going to want to get their hands dirty? Are they going to leave the CEO in charge? Just to run it into the ground a little bit more. What's an extra 300 million when you're $500 million in the red? So we don't know what's going on. The people at Gibson are probably freaking out. The people, they go for Chapter 11. They go into bankruptcy is the headline. CEOs getting paid. CEOs remaining with significant power. He maybe didn't even give specifics about his title, and who knows what's going on. We still don't know what's going on. All we know is that the creditors are that's a lot of money, even for people who invest. So they might be in trouble. We don't know the specifics of their liquidity. So I'm going off like I'm venting my frustration on the practice, the new business model of, it used to be bang and bust. Now it seems to be bust and bust and bust. I hate kicking the can down the road. I hate that terminology because it's too simplistic. But all they're doing is they've shared a lot of companies, and they don't even go into detail of that. So one that we know of is Sonar by Cakewalk. What about the others? What others are on the table to be pushed off? What is the core? We're not given any answers. I mean, if I was invested in Gibson and I saw these statements, it's ridiculous. But at least we know that Gibson isn't going away. So that's a positive. So that's if you wake up and you're a Gibson employee and you see Gibson bankruptcy, you're going to freak out. But then Gibson core, am I core? You don't know how essential you are to the operating functionality of Gibson. And so we don't know. All we know is that Gibson really ran out of money and they had nowhere to go because they couldn't pay, shippers, and they couldn't pay for the parts and the rest of it. So it's like nobody will lend them any money, in other words. And it's finally ground to a halt. And the game of chicken that the CEO was playing with investors, just saying, money, 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 and he got his money and he's still there. It's so, when are you going to get a resolution, and when are you going to actually get a new structure in place? Maybe positive, we project, blah, blah, blah. So kicking that $4,000 standard can down the road, and here we are in bankruptcy, chapter 11, and apparently that will put some money in the pocket of the CEO and retain some power, retains face. He's going to go off beyond into retirement age with a lovely financial package from the demise of the non-core Gibson brands. Who knows who they are? Huh? But it's okay, he's getting paid. All right, so let's talk about why it was stupid of the CEO of Gibson to go into consumer electronics. Let's talk exactly why, in my opinion. I'm saying exactly, I'm just giving my opinion. When I saw that he was going for the home audio market, the earphones, the Onkyo, the Philips and KRK and the rest of it, I groaned. I was like, what are they thinking? It is the worst. Think about home electronics, right? Everybody is up to speed with HDMI, basically, right? With HD. The next big step is 4K. Then the next big step is 3D and 4K 3D, and then it's going to go up, Ultra HD. The infrastructure for Ultra HD and 4K is not in people's households. There is not enough bandwidth in the world yet for these technologies. You're lucky to have like 3 channels that can do Ultra HD, or even 4K and the rest of it. What are they thinking? Everybody's already got their HDMI. They've already got their systems in place. The home audio thing. It's much like the PC market, where PCs kind of got fast enough to run most things for quite a few years, but it's actually extended in the home audio market. And the funny thing is, the real the audiophiles know that kind of the older stuff is kind of sounds better. Not the really old stuff, but because you're still going to want at least 5.1 surround, right? You're at least going to need that. But what happens when our wonderful investors take over companies like Onyoko? I can never say it right. They obviously cut corners, and something that used to weigh a bloody ton, the old amps, it's all about transformers, and is the paste good inside there? Is it cold solder joints and the rest of it, and quality components, quality wire, everything, because the signal is something that degrades, right? And the old school had it down, and the new school had to cut corners, and some of it is for the good, because plastics and things, and there's certain things are toxic and the rest of it. But audio wise, I'm going to bring out a video on this as well of how you can get monitoring systems for your studio that way outperform the current $2,000 systems that the studio monitor systems afford you. The studio monitors, there kind of is a quality, a price to audio ratio, which I'm obsessed about. That's my obsession. How do I get audiophile quality at the lowest prices? And my whole thing has been going backwards, get old speakers that used to cost $3,000, in the 80s and 90s. Well, not maybe in the 90s. Certain brands, which I'll do a video on, where now if you go to Craigslist or Facebook, you can pick up amazing speakers made in America, made in UK, made in Canada, like home studio quality speakers for peanuts. And that'll be a good video. I think it'll be really good timing to find out how can you get into pro audio and hardly pay anything, because you got these little old ladies selling off their husband's man cave stuff, and he knew what he had. He probably didn't tell her how much they paid for this shit. I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm not, because it's relevant. Nobody can stream all of their channels in Ultra HD, all right? Because there isn't enough room in the pipe. Not everybody's going to have Google Fiber, you know what I mean? And not everybody is DirecTV might have a few channels. Comcast might have a few channels. So are you going to buy all these receivers that have Ultra HD and 3D capability when you can't even get it unless you buy Blu-rays or beyond? You don't have it in the pipe. There's not enough. So why would you invest in that right now? If you invest in that when it's coming around the corner, when it's going to be a standard, just like VHS became a standard, all of a sudden then you invest in solid VHS machines. So and KRK, everybody in the know with KRK knows that the old KRK speakers were amazing, and the new ones are kind of no. So Gibson will probably hear, oh, KRK is great. How did they not know that current KRK is not a patch on the old ones? I actually have one of the old Rocket 8s or 7s, and you'll see all sorts of old school producers with old KRK, the ones with the active ones. They weigh a ton, and you can pick them up sometimes for like $120 each. But I've been waiting for another cheap one to come around so I can have a pair, just as another monitoring system. And so it's like, how can they not know when they invest in these companies that it's just a bad idea? And then let's talk about the guitars. How can they not know that the Futura or whatever it is, Flying V, was a bad idea? How do they not know that putting the Tronical tuners, the GeForce tuners, on a classic instrument like Gibson is a good idea? How do they? But he's still there. He's got paid off. Oh, he's gonna sail them now. Now it's different. Now he's gonna sail them into the right direction because what? They have a bit more liquidity after Filing for bankruptcy. Oh, but don't forget, guys. We have believes, anticipates, plans, expects, estimates, projects. Don't worry, guys. We got this. Positive spins. What? How stupid are people, dude? He got this. All right. So luckily, thankfully, he's going to be fine. He's got his big financial package, undisclosed, of course, so he doesn't get, dragged through the dirt. And but he wins. He's won. He gets to say things like positive, forward-looking statements and terminologies. He gets to say that in a press release. And by the way, I'm not going away. By the way, I'm getting paid. By the way, core is safe. Actually, it's not safe. Core can continue for a little bit. That's all that means. We're going to concentrate on core. Core's on fire. The core is like Scotty is trying to put it out right now. And they might have to eject the core. But don't worry. CEO's okay. So you can sleep. Gibson employees, you can sleep soundly. He's okay. Everything's cool. Forward-looking statements. Don't forget, when you're laying awake at night, don't forget to say would, contemplates, aims, pro forma, might. All beautiful words, right? That's going to restructure your dreams and consolidate the debt of your soul. Fuck me. What? I don't like this. I actually don't like it. I know I talk about Gibson. I actually don't like talking about Gibson because there's real people, there's real tradition, and basically with the tronical tuners, the beautiful tradition, it's like having a Rolls Royce, a beautiful classic brand, and then putting spinning rims on it. He's still there see what else is he got to be putting spinning rims on during his long transition period out the door. All right, chaps, that's it for now. Rant over. It's not game over, and now is the time where we see what balls the creditors have when dealing with this transition. We don't know. They obviously don't know because they invested in it. So we have the blind leading the blind. We could speculate that they did this on purpose so that all base R belong to them now. You know what I mean? So who knows? Bankruptcy, Gibson, the end? Question mark. Kick that can. I presume there's going to be a few Gibson sales. Some fire sales, and I'm actually going to look out. I'm going to look at the brands that they have and look out for news because there is no news. If you look for news, it's all positive spin articles on these companies from like the corporatist news channels like to put out to tell you everything's okay, like the economy is okay. Apparently in the USA, what they don't say is that the economy is owned by people who, the upper 1%, because the economy, basically shares and stocks and all the rest of it, are doing well. The average person doesn't own that many of those. The economy, we own this much, and the upper 1% own all this. So their economy is going great, guys. It's going great. If you are struggling financially, don't forget, I anticipate and believe you're going to be okay. I plan and expect that you're going to be okay. I intend and estimate, project, should, will, may, would, contemplate, aims, pro forma. Don't forget, guys, pro forma. Pro forma the shit out of life. If you like these types of videos, please subscribe. Subscribing means a hell of a lot. I know I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'm passionate about this stuff. And just liking, subscribing, and especially sharing really helps me out. I'm going to keep this nonsense going. I'm going to be positive from now on. I'm going to put out some positive stuff on how you can get much better quality than top of the line KRK speakers in your house for $150. Old school. Is it the new school? I project and anticipate it is. Go to the Circular Tone Facebook group if you want to join that. I answer all questions. Let's hang out. Show me your music. please try not to show me the digital shit. You know I don't like it. I mean, it seems like the past couple of ones is like, oh, I listened to my digital recreation of blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. Guys, you know this. Come on now. Now I said that, I'm going to get trolled. Hey, also, circleoftone.com, you can keep the channel going financially if you want to anticipate, plan, expect, intend to give me a sale of a t-shirt, or you can just donate, or, you know, that type of thing. Buy my pedal, buy my pickups, I have all sorts of things starting to bubble. It's all good. Shut up, Owen. I'm dying to say more buzzwords, but Circle of Tone.